We got a long one this week, boys. We're going into great depth about each matchup for week 2, and then we throw in some league recap for our fantasy league at the end of the show. So go ahead and check out the timestamps for the matchups you want to hear about, because we definitely talk about your player and some other players you don't even know about.
Welcome to A Tribe Called Fantasy, a below-average fantasy football podcast with your hosts, Greg and Justin.
First off, never trust a robot.
You're crazy, man.
Not a masturbating problem, a porn addiction.
Oh.
Not necessarily.
I think they both went hand in hand.
Oh.
Sometimes I just sit there and look at it before I go to bed.
Grease them palms, baby.
You had one job.
I don't know. He looks a bit chunky. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? Welcome back, Tribe. This week we got week 2 game previews with some start-sits players that we like, players that we don't like. Timestamps will be in the description for each of the games, so feel free to skip to the parts that you want to listen to. With that, we got to introduce this past week's biggest loser, Logan Thorne, captain of the Pittsburgh Feel 'em Up Feelers. How do you feel to be this week's biggest loser?
What's
Logan?
up, guys? I'm the biggest loser this week, but I'm here anyway, so let's get into it.
Nice.
Also the biggest winner. Number 1 on the waiver wire.
Oh, yeah.
Biggest loser, biggest winner, either way.
As always, we also have Justin and
Yo.
other co-host Greg, co-host Greg. All right, week 2, game 1, Thursday night, we have the Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Cleveland Browns. ESPN's season leaders are Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, Joe Mixon, Kareem Hunt, AJ Green, Jarvis Landry. Of course, we also have to mention Nick Chubb and possibly even Tyler Boyd. Don't forget OBJ, of course, as well. And we have some tight ends.
CJ Uzma and Austin Hooper.
Maybe John Ross in there as well, but that's about it.
John Ross is a deep one. So quarterback-wise, Joe Burrow and Baker Mayfield. How do you guys sit on those two?
I am definitely not starting Baker Mayfield.
Me neither.
My trust in him is completely gone. He has managed to blow this season already, and after blowing last season, it's really impressive. Johnny Manziel 2.0 all the way. And I'm not trusting him until he puts up 4 touchdowns 3 weeks in a row.
I honestly kind of feel like we may see a shootout.
It's impressive
It could happen.
I shouldn't say I think we will see a shootout. I want to see a shootout, but I definitely wouldn't want to start Baker Mayfield either. If I have better options, I don't want to play either of these. Out of the two, I personally like Burrow more. How do you guys feel?
Agreed.
I agree. It's just impressive how bad Baker Mayfield has managed to make Odell Beckham look.
True.
It's hard to believe,
Yeah.
but he's managed to do it.
Even Jarvis Landry, too.
Even
Jarvis Landry gets consistent numbers, though.
He's got really good hands. I do like Joe Burrow, though. He looked really good in last week's game. 1 push-off away from a dub.
Yeah.
AJ Green.
He also did throw an interception that cost him the game, though. But other than that, he looked pretty
First
crisp.
game jitters,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, he's a rookie, so
Very
you can
true.
only see that he's probably going to do better, I think.
Does Joe Burrow have a nickname yet? And then we'll get to wide receivers.
Joe Ice.
I don't like it.
I think he came into training camp with a big-ass chain or something, just something ridiculous.
Joe did?
Yeah.
Sick.
Joe Burrow.
I don't think they actually call him Joe Ice.
All right. Wide receivers, AJ Green, Jarvis Landry. Of course, we have to say Odell Beckham Jr. and Tyler Boyd. John Ross, as I mentioned as well. I definitely don't like John Ross. Feel iffy about Tyler Boyd. But as far as other receivers go, how do you guys feel?
I think if you're in a 12-man PPR league, you obviously are going to start AJ Green, Jarvis Landry, and you kind of have to start Odell. You put so much draft capital in him that if you don't, you've wasted a pick at this point. So I think it's tough to start him after the week he had, but I think he had 7 to 10 targets or something ridiculous like that.
I think they're all pretty average wide receiver-wise for fantasy. I don't know if that's a hard take or not.
I guess out of those, who do you like the most? And would you want to start them? I think out of all of these, they're like peak would be Jarvis Landry, and he would be I feel like I would feel comfortable starting Jarvis Landry as a wide receiver too.
I'm thinking so. AJ Green only played 66% of snaps last game. I don't know if that was just matchups or game script, or maybe they're trying to ease him back in from being out for 7 years.
True, man. It's been a long one, AJ.
It is a little concerning, but he doesn't look too bad.
Do we see Odell bounce back this week or no?
I'm thinking so. You can't have a player that good do that bad for so long. And all of last year was
Baker
subpar.
Mayfield's your quarterback.
Very
Then
true.
anything can happen.
Oh man!
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next game.
No, we didn't talk about.
We didn't talk about any of the running backs.
Yeah, let's relax, Greg. We also skipped over some deep league wide receivers. I personally, if I was scouring the waiver wires, or maybe I had an injury week 1, if Tyler Boyd is my flex play, I'm not mad at it. I would start him in deeper leagues. I'm definitely sitting John Ross. He did have the most snaps for a wide receiver on the team, but
interesting.
He's just small, and I just don't have the faith that I do in Tyler Boyd and AJ Green.
I like Tyler Boyd as well. I feel good about starting him as flex or wide receiver.
Boyd's from Pitt.
No way.
Shout out. He sure is.
Wait, what do you guys think about Austin Hooper this week with David Njoku going to IR?
I think it's a good start.
Yeah,
for sure. I think
definitely gives him more value.
For sure.
We'll see though.
We will see.
What was the snap percentage looking like before? When did David Njoku get hurt? Was it in the game? I wasn't watching that game.
I do believe so. I did not see the injury. Okay. David Njoku played for 17 snaps, which is 23%. Austin Hooper played for 77% of the snaps.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good look.
They do have a rookie tight end named Harrison Bryant, who's kind of just, I think he might have had a touchdown or something, but he's just poaching catches. Wow. So something to look for later in the season.
I just feel like they have to feed Jarvis and they have to feed Odell. I don't know. Austin Hooper played really well for the Falcons, but the Falcons were a pass-heavy team, and like we saw, Baker Mayfield cannot throw the ball. So I would, taking that into consideration, probably not trust Austin Hooper. If I have a better option, I would definitely go elsewhere. Johnny Smith.
I agree.
Real quick, let's move to the running backs. I think if you have Joe Mixon, Kareem Hunt, or Nick Chubb, you got to start them.
I think, you start all three of those.
In a rough running back league, I think you just got to start them.
Do you start any of them with confidence?
I don't think either of the defenses looked amazing last game, to be honest.
I feel like I'd be excited to start Joe Mixon mainly because he's getting all of their runs. You said Giovanni Bernard was taking up some snaps, but he only had one rush and a couple of receptions that game.
That is true.
Mixon's going to get most of the load for sure.
Gio's just a staple there. He's just a guy who's just going to ruin Joe Mixon's outlook.
In a deep league, you might get a touchdown.
16-man
That's all
league.
you can ask for.
Yeah.
If you can throw him in a flex and get a touchdown.
Yeah, but I'm definitely sitting Bernard and starting all three running backs, like you said. How about we move on to this next game?
Wait, actually, what about Kareem Hunt, though? And Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb sucked. Kareem Hunt ate into Nick Chubb's. I feel like we shouldn't just gloss over them.
You're not wrong. I think Nick Chubb will bounce back.
I think so, too. That's where I stand.
Did he get hurt?
No.
He didn't pull anything?
I don't think so. Joe Mixon ran the ball 19 times last game.
Fumbled.
Comes with football, baby.
It's heavy load.
Comes with football. But, yeah, I guess if you have Nick Chubb, you're going to start him. Kareem Hunt, I guess start him. I wouldn't love to start Kareem Hunt, but I guess you could do a lot worse.
You could for sure.
I would 100% start him because they lined him up in all sorts of different ways. They had him in the slot. They'll have both of them on at the same time, and he's just a better pass catching back. So maybe he gets you an extra 3 or 4 points in PPR that Nick Chubb's not going to get you. He might even poach a goal line touchdown from Nick Chubb, and then Nick Chubb drops 2 again.
It's scary because they are both very good football players. So they're going to use both of them. They're always going to use both of them. So you're just going to have to play that the whole season.
Yeah, it's hard for people who drafted Nick Chubb so early to have that handcuff the whole season.
Yeah.
Very true. All right, moving on to the early afternoon games. We're going to start with probably one of the ugliest football games on the schedule. The New York Giants and the Chicago Bears. ESPN season leaders are Danny Dimes-Jones, Mitch Trubisky. Daniel Jones is their leading rusher.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my
Saquon,
God. That's right. He ran for 6 yards. Saquon and David Montgomery, Darius Slayton and Anthony Miller, as well as Allen Robinson, which there have been some juicy developments on. Who else? And Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Darius Slayton. Did you say him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Evan Ingram and Jimmy Graham.
Yes.
Isn't he on the Bears?
Yeah,
now?
he had a pretty decent game. Start with the QBs.
Yeah, we got Danny Dimes, Mitch Trubisky. I definitely like Daniel Jones a lot more than I like Mitch Trubisky.
He looked good.
He definitely looked
He looked good.
I don't feel great playing either, but I think if you had to stream a quarterback, or maybe your whole team is stacked and you have no quarterback, I think Daniel Jones is going to be a Jameis Winston-esque.
Mitch Trubisky runs as well, though.
That's true, but he sucks at throwing.
Yeah.
If the first quarter and a half, maybe 2 quarters, he looked awful. I just don't know.
No faith in Trubisky.
With the Allen Robinson news too, where he's unhappy.
Probably because of Mitch Trubisky. I mean, why would you? What a waste.
He threw for 3 touchdowns last game.
It's pretty good.
And they won, I'm pretty sure.
They did win. It was a comeback.
Fantasy wise, you can't ask for much more.
Yeah, you can't.
3 touchdowns. I mean,
I'm just not expecting that from Mitchell Trubisky every week.
Absolutely not.
Hopefully, you don't have to play Mitch Trubisky or Danny Dimes. Hopefully, you have a better quarterback option. Out of the two, who do you guys like? Oh, I guess we all kind of unanimously agreed.
I'm gonna sit them both.
Sit them both.
I agree.
All right, yeah.
Sit 'em both.
I don't even. Let's not even pick one. They don't deserve it. Saquon and David Montgomery. Obviously, Saquon's gonna get his, even with a handful of rushing yards. I think I had more rushing yards than Saquon Monday night. He still had he was playing. He looked good. I mean, he looked really good out there.
Just a rough take, man. Honestly, it's just a rough game.
Yeah,
I think if you obviously picked your first or second pick on Saquon Barkley, so I know you're extremely pissed off if you drafted him.
You have to start him.
As far as the rest of the season goes, he's going to be in the lineup every week.
Course.
No brainer.
The Steelers' defense just looked great,
Yeah.
and the offensive line,
another level.
the offensive line for the Giants did not look that
Not
great.
at all.
The whole team looked pretty good. I mean, even with his 6 rushing yards, he had 15 attempts. He had 6 receptions for 60 yards, and he was hurdling grown men.
That was disrespectful.
I mean,
those hurdles were
so unnecessary. Just run through them. You don't have to jump over them. Just run through them, man. Just crouch down, run through them.
I thought he was about to get his back broken on a couple of them.
Nah, he'll be fine. He's pliable.
It was impressive.
As far as David Montgomery, though, I am not starting David Montgomery.
No, he gets
in any league, really.
He gets a good share of the work, but that Browns running back not Browns, Bears, both just not great teams. I get them confused.
He and Tariq Cohen basically split the snap count. Tariq Cohen had 1 more snap, and that's also on top of them throwing Cordero Patterson in there for 15% of the running back snaps. So you can't really bank on just touchdowns every week. And this game looks to be a slow grinder. I'm not seeing a big shootout.
Yeah, I would agree.
So I could see this game being 7-13. So if you want to bank on David Montgomery touchdowns, be my guest. But I would have more faith in Tariq Cohen, but I'm probably going to sit both of them.
I don't know. I feel like Saquon's going to get a couple touchdowns. So the score might be a little bit higher just thanks to Saquon.
Yeah, for sure.
But David Montgomery's also coming off of a groin injury, so he's being a bit
yeah, but I don't think you're thinking about the Bears' defensive front 4 against the Giants' offensive line, which just got bodied.
Yeah.
And I think they came away with some injuries too, so that's not looking good.
I guess so. Trust the talent, though. I mean, if you have Saquon, you have to play
I would
him.
start Saquon, but as far both the running backs for the Bears are getting the boot.
You don't think they'll do well this week?
No, I think he will.
Okay.
I think he'll put up an average fantasy production, maybe 17 to 20. You have to start him either way, like Logan was saying. That's your first overall pick.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you like any of the tight ends in this game? Evan Ingram did not play well.
No.
Didn't look good.
He didn't look good. I have no faith in Jimmy Graham. I've played the Jimmy Graham game many times.
Old faithful.
Yeah, never once has it paid off. It
He
works.
made himself look good too.
It
didn't
works
he?
every once in a while, and you feel like you're riding the wave of Jimmy Graham, and then boom, you crash back to reality. I just can't do it.
Do we want to move on to?
Did we talk about the wide receivers?
Lightly, we can go
Yeah.
into it.
I think we glazed over them.
Not a huge.
I think Derry.
Slayton did very well.
Yeah,
He did very well.
he looked good. I'm starting Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard if in the flex position. If I
Yeah,
have
would wanna
to,
flex them.
if I have one of those on my bench and I'm deciding between a Darius Slayton and a David Montgomery, like I'm starting Darius Slayton for sure.
Nice.
I actually had Sterling Shepard on my bench this week.
How'd he
so
do
shout out
on
to
your
that.
bench?
I don't think he outscored my starters, but
Okay.
he's a good guy to have on the bench.
Definitely.
Yeah, I
for
like
sure.
Sterling Shepard as well.
Good guy to have on the bench.
Allen Robinson, do you have any hesitations about playing him this week? I would.
I would too.
I would definitely be curious to see how this situation with his. Is it even contract related? He just wants out of Chicago.
Just once out. That's another thing
Can't blame
though.
him for that.
You draft him really high, so you have to play him. But
For sure.
you want to have a backup plan in case something does happen.
Hopefully, you have Anthony Miller or
Hopefully.
non-Bears
So do you
wide
think
receiver.
Do you think Robinson goes somewhere soon? You think it happens fast or
I think we got another Stephon Diggs issue on our hand. They're going to talk it out. It's going to be kumbaya, and then he's gone next season.
Do you think he plays this Sunday?
Absolutely.
I think he plays, but it's secret's out. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's got to be some type of
he
tension or something.
Yeah, he
There has to
deleted.
be.
He deleted all the stuff on his Twitter Bears related.
It's could be all speculative, but where there's smoke, there is fire.
I'm sure there's a little salt in the air in that one.
If he plays, you might have some reserves, but you probably have to play him, unfortunately. Let's move on to
Wait up.
Oh,
I'm definitely gonna start Anthony Miller though. He looked good. He had a good week. There was a lot of talk about him in training camp. As far as Ted Ginn goes, that's a wait and see for me. I'm gonna sit him. I
I'm
don't know.
honestly disappointed you even mentioned his name.
I'd see him for sure.
Ted Ginn
look
played
good?
the second most snaps in the game
How
at
did
wide
he do,
receiver.
though?
I don't have the stats up on me right now. I think he had a few catches.
Probably not worth it, though.
Probably not.
Oh.
Not enough to note.
Do we have any more fantasy to squeeze out of that garbage fire of a
Yeah.
game?
I think we can move on.
Let's move on.
The game that only Giants and Bears fans will be watching. Falcons and Cowboys in the 1 p.m. slot. This is fixing to be a good one, I think. The ESPN season leaders are Matt Ryan, Dak Prescott, Todd Gurley II, Ezekiel Elliott, Julio Jones, Amari Cooper. We got to mention Calvin Ridley, Michael Gallup. Blake Jarwin went down. RIP Blake Jarwin.
That was rough for you.
Yeah, I mean, I have Darren Waller, so it wasn't that rough. What Falcons wide receiver am I forgetting to mention?
Russell Gage,
Russell Gage,
Great week.
as well as Hayden Hurst.
as well as Hayden Hurst. He had an amazing catch.
He did.
One
I
amazing
saw that.
catch.
He laid out for it. Yeah, he had. I think he only had 2 catches on the week.
Effort plays are always promising. They lead to more.
I think he ran the most routes out of any tight end
Hayden
over
Hurst?
week
No.
1. Yeah,
Wow, nice.
they were the Falcons were down though, so you can expect that kind of game script. I think this game's probably going to be a bit slower, so I don't know if Russell Gage and stuff is going to get all the targets. But let's start with the quarterbacks. How do you guys feel?
Matt Ryan, Dak Prescott. Love them both as fantasy quarterbacks.
Start them both
Start them both.
for sure.
Start
Facts.
them both.
Could be a shootout.
Todd Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott. Todd Gurley looked very good week 1, I thought.
I agree, but he played 46% of the snaps.
I think they were playing from behind most of it. So
It's just not what you want to see from a guy you drafted in the 3rd or 4th round of
Yeah.
your draft.
I that's exactly where I drafted him, and you know what? I feel very comfortable having Todd Gurley on my
Only
team. and starting
56
him.
yards, but he found the end zone.
They're gonna play
So-
Todd Gurley to get in the end zone.
Definitely.
He's gonna have. Last year he had 14 touchdowns. He was still like a top 20 running back. He didn't have the volume, but your team definitely wasn't hurting from having him on it.
I would start him. I would just say proceed with caution the rest of the season. Because, I mean, they are limiting his touches for a reason. He has arthritis in his knees. They just don't work, dog.
I don't know, man.
Tough.
They looked like they were working.
No, he's good when he's
As long
on.
as he's getting these touchdowns, man. That's what
He
you're
will.
playing for.
He will.
You're searching for touchdowns.
Is he going to get 16? One a week?
I don't know.
That's-
I don't know. But I
that's
think
wishful
he'll have
thinking.
I think he'll have over
The
12.
Falcons are going to use him
Yeah.
for sure.
The Falcons are definitely going to use him.
For sure.
Zeke, obviously a total monster. Probably going to run all over these fools this week.
I would agree.
Obviously.
Sucks for the hometown.
Yeah.
ATL, ho.
ATL, baby. Falcons rise up. Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, also wide receivers you're playing. Feeling pretty good about playing as well. Calvin Ridley. Feel good about playing him too.
I feel really good about playing
Yeah.
Calvin.
Yeah. He looked really good.
I feel good about playing, Michael Gallup as well. I
Oh,
would
too. CeeDee Lamb looked promising as well.
see if I'm going to start both of the number 1 and number 2 receivers on the team, and then I'm going to consider a third wide receiver, and it's going to be Russell Gage. I'm not playing CeeDee Lamb.
I'd probably eye up Russell Gage on the waiver, but I would want to wait.
I don't think I'm
just kinda
playing
hold him.
Gage or CeeDee Lamb, but if I had to pick, I'd pick Gage as well. He had a really good first game, which is promising. So
Would you scoop him up off the waivers if you needed him over, let's say, a running back?
yeah,
That's kind of like a
Why
vague
not?
question.
yeah.
I don't
Depending
know.
on the
I don't
player,
feel
but
great
yeah.
about. I don't feel great about him. He had a good week, but
We'll see. Week 2 will tell.
Yeah.
there's a lot of Julio in Atlanta, as well as Calvin Ridley now.
For
I think
sure.
all the Falcons wide receivers were just going crazy this weekend, though, weren't they?
They were down early.
Yeah.
Let's move on, though.
You can definitely
Oh.
count on the Falcons playing from behind.
Yeah. What about the tight ends? I personally am going to sit both
Yeah, not interested.
because
Not interested.
Blake Jarwin going down is big. That hurts.
Yeah. Not a good look. Not liking either of those tight ends. There's too many mouths in Atlanta. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions hosting the Green Bay Packers. ESPN season leaders. We have Matthew Stafford, product of Georgia University. Aaron Rodgers, Adrian Peterson, Aaron Jones, Danny Amendola, and the manimal himself, Devontae Adams, ready to eat anyone who comes in front of him. Do we have any notable tight ends on either? TJ Hawkinson,
TJ Hawkinson looked good.
very notable tight
I
ends.
think the Lions have Jesse James from Pittsburgh. I'm not sure if they still have him.
Uh,
I don't even know if he's a starter.
the Pittsburgh Homer.
That's just had to shout
Yeah,
him out.
that's
Yeah,
a-
he's probably
It
like
was a
that's
catch,
a
by the
deep-
way, everybody.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
a catch. I just
Of
want to
course
say,
you remember.
Jesse James caught that pass. We'll move on.
Wow. Yeah, I definitely didn't remember that name. That game did not matter to me at all.
Man.
Man, Jesse James played half the snaps, so second
See
string.
Wow.
Second string.
TJ
Wow.
Hawkinson is good.
Wouldn't
though.
start him.
Yeah,
Would
T.
never
Hawkinson's
consider
good.
starting him.
I think this game is going to be another guns blazing shootout with Aaron Rodgers and his mustache that he doesn't have anymore, just slanging.
I think he's rocking a beard now. Should we do a little Aaron Rodgers facial hair talk?
Maybe later.
All right, all right.
we'll save
All
that for pillow
right.
talk, Greg.
So Aaron
Alright.
Rodgers went ham.
Oh,
first game.
yes, sir.
Disgusting.
Almost 400 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Vintage Aaron Rodgers.
Just classic Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. It was awesome.
It's what you expect, really.
Yeah. I was playing him in a couple of my other leagues, and it was so fun to have Aaron Rodgers just balling out all over these
How many
fools.
points was it?
It was 30 points, 30.7,
Yeah.
depending on like the
Can't
point
complain.
structure of it all.
Can't complain.
Yeah, he had a good week. Matthew Stafford did okay.
Yeah, but it was his first week back after literally breaking his back.
Nice.
So I think he's going to be okay.
They should have won the game.
They
I
should-
think
oh.
he deserved to win that game. I
Oh.
think Matthew
Should we,
Stafford.
Yeah, let's talk about this one interception on the stat line. Wow.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford coming back from a broken back. He has tectonic plates all through his spine. He's setting off every single metal detector. And he's just out here throwing just beautiful
For
passes.
300 yards.
Yeah, for 300
For
yards.
300
Slanging.
Absolutely slanging. Matthew Stafford looking like the Matthew Stafford of old. I actually like the Matthew Stafford and Aaron Rodgers similar play style, gunslingers.
Yeah,
I'm
that's.
For sure.
so excited to see this matchup.
I think it's going to be great.
Anyways, of course, DeAndre Swift ended his own career. He's not going to be showing up next Sunday due to crippling anxiety. he has stomach cramps and won't be able to make it because he can't catch a single ball.
Yeah, that was hard to see.
It was definitely rough.
Go Dogs, though.
Go Dogs.
Keep your head up, Rook. Brighter days are to come.
Starting both the quarterbacks,
Yeah, anyways.
though. Definitely going to start Aaron Jones, of course. He was looking real good.
Looked very good.
As far as the Detroit running backs, that is a sticky situation. You can go ahead and drop Kerryon Johnson. I personally have him. His ass will be on the waivers tomorrow.
I might go around smelling for some Kerryon Johnson.
Get you
though.
some Kerryon
might.
Johnson. I am in the Adrian Peterson stock, and we are going up. He looks younger every carry, running through lines, Heisman and fools. I think he might have hurdled a dude that was on the ground. That's okay. We take all that shit.
I wouldn't get ahead of yourself here. This is the ancient old Adrian Peterson we're talking about.
You talking about AD all day?
I don't
AP?
know. I don't know.
Hey,
He's feasting.
I don't know.
Hold him back.
Did I hear you
I'm
say he was
starting
on the waivers though? Or am
Not-
I tripping?
Not after this week.
Oh, he's not. He's really not
Wait,
being-
you skipping up AP?
Hey,
He's on the waivers
little-
right now.
yeah,
He's on the
little
waivers. He
waiver
wasn't
preview.
drafted. He was
Yeah,
not
of
drafted,
course.
and I think it's just might be better off that way.
it was his first
ahead.
week.
Scoop up your AP.
First week with him, or with the Detroit Lions, and he went crazy. They ended up giving him the majority of the carries. Kerryon Johnson looked terrible. Like you said, Swift ended his whole career
I think
before it
Swift
started.
lost a little reputation, and because of that, I would start Adrian Peterson.
There you go.
Actually, yeah, that is a good point.
That's facts.
I didn't take that into consideration.
In all fairness, I do think Swift is a good stash. I wouldn't start him because you never know how Matt Patricia is going to feel about
He'll be
him
good.
just throwing the game.
He'll be
away.
good. He'll
What if he
bounce
just-
back, but that's
What if he comes out and bounces back?
I
I
could
don't think
see-
so.
I'm not starting him this game.
I'm not
Either
interested.
way.
Yeah.
Wide receivers for the Lions. Hopefully Kenny Galladay is back this week.
You start him immediately
Yeah, of
if he
course.
plays.
Marvin Jones. I would feel okay about starting him. You could do a lot worse.
If this is the week you have to start him, you got to feel confident.
Sammy Watkins or Marvin Jones Jr.
This week?
Yeah, who would you rather play?
Hmm.
I feel like they're similar players. Or Will Fuller.
Give me.
The
Only give me
Chiefs are
two.
the Chiefs are playing the Chiefs of
The
course, the
Chargers.
Chiefs are playing the Chargers.
Uh,
And
give me Marvin Jones.
Yeah,
Give me
I think I
Marvin
agree.
Jones.
I think I'd agree with that. And especially if Kenny G isn't back.
Yeah.
Hopefully he is though, because
What do
he is a monster.
What do you guys think about Quintez Cephas? Did you guys watch him play at all?
Nah, bro. I don't even know that.
He
guy.
had-
Never heard of him.
He had the
Never heard
most
of him.
targets on the team, and he played 79% of snaps, and he looked pretty decent.
Could be a waiver wire.
If
Yeah,
Kenny
could be a
Galladay is
waiver
there, not interested.
He could be the third. I mean, they still have Danny
Yeah, they still
Amendola.
have
If you need a wide
Amendola.
receiver, could be a waiver wire.
I would look at Quintez for the foreseeable future. Maybe week 4, maybe week 5. Who's this Quintez guy? You just scoop him up on your team, and you take yourself to the championship. That's all I'm saying.
Bold prediction.
I'm benching Danny. I think he had 13 points in our league. Pretty solid
Yeah,
production.
solid on paper.
But I just don't trust it.
You know what you're gonna get. You're not gonna get anything crazy from him.
Yeah,
Devontae Adams, obviously,
Showed
just
out.
a freak of nature.
that's a lock.
Almost went off for 50, just under 50. Rounded up, it was 50.
What do you guys do with the other two?
I would, if I
You have to pick one.
out of Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Alan Lazard,
Yes, sir.
I don't know.
that is rough.
That's
That is
a-
a very hard choice.
Let me give you the snap count. Alan Lazard played 87% of the snaps, and Valdez Scantling played 54%. So Lazard is clearly the
He
number
did
2.
pretty well last year.
Wow.
He
Yeah.
did pretty well last year.
I think I'm going with Lazard,
I am
especially if
too.
I'm looking to pick one of them up.
Straight out of off gut, I was going to say Lazard, but your statistics kind of sell me more.
I think you can start him this week. I think maybe you
If
could
you
probably
have to.
I think out of the two, it's going to be a flip flop between MVS and Lazard, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be either or. Of course, Devontae's going to get his every single week, but those two will get
Either
what's
or.
ever left over. Which, if
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is on, what's left over is a lot of points.
If Aaron Rodgers is throwing 4 touchdowns a game, I'll start any wide receiver. On
Yeah.
this.
Oh, I would
You
love
could-
it.
If he keeps slinging it, you could start any 3 of
Absolutely.
those. I would start T.J. Hawkinson too. He looked
Oh, yeah.
he looked pretty good.
Looked pretty good.
I'm
He
not
got
s-
a touchdown.
I'm
You
not
were just hoping that your tight end gets a touchdown or heavy target share, and he got both, I want to say.
I am not starting a single Green Bay tight end though.
I don't even know who it
Yeah,
is.
Who are they?
Jimmy Graham's
There's-
not there anymore. Who is it?
Robert Tonyan Jr. and Mercedes Lewis, and there was also Josiah Dugarar. I probably just butchered that.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Jay Sternberger.
Brutal stuff.
They all played, so
Yeah. Not interested.
no.
Should we move on to the Jags Titans? Do you have
Let's do
anything
it.
left to say?
Nope, let's do it.
Jags Titans. ESPN season leaders: Gardner Minshew, Ryan Tannehill, Josh Robinson. He's on my team. I don't know his first name.
I do believe you are correct.
Derrick Henry, what a monster. Keelan Cole Sr.,
James Robinson.
James Robinson. James Josh, pretty close. Corey Davis, of course, A.J. Brown, DJ Chark, of course, too. Notable tight ends, Jonnu Smith. Jacksonville's tight end I'm not familiar with off the top of my
Tyler
head.
Eifert and
from
James,
Cincinnati.
and James O'Shaughnessy. They're both kind of split.
Oh, Shaughnessy. An Irishman, love to see it. Gardner Minshew versus Ryan Tannehill at the QB matchup. Who do you guys like more?
I like Tannehill a bit more, strictly because the offense is a little better and he has a better running potential. But Gardner can drop 25 every week. He's so accurate and he's just a winner.
I would agree. Yeah, I don't think that this is going to be a very high-scoring game. I'm not really excited to start either quarterback. I think the Titans are just going to get one score and then just try and run the whole game. And
I
they
could
probably
see
will be
that.
able to do it.
Gardner will sling it though.
Yeah, true. They'll probably be playing from behind.
Yeah.
And
If-
Gardner played very, very well.
If I have
Week one.
a different option for a game that's going to be a faster pace game script, I'll probably take those over both quarterbacks.
Fair. I don't know. I feel good about playing Gardner if I have to.
I guess so.
I would play him with confidence. I think out of all those mid-tier quarterbacks, I feel pretty good depending on the matchup. I like the matchup. He's probably going to be playing from behind. Derrick Henry and James Robinson. Of course, you're starting Derrick Henry, James Robinson.
I'm starting James Robinson. He had 100% of his carries.
Played pretty well, too.
Of running back carries, yeah.
Wow.
Did a good thing with him. He is sitting comfortably on my bench this week in real life. Wide receivers, Corey Davis, A.J. Brown on the Tennessee Titans. Is there any other? I guess Jonnu Smith as well.
I think Tajay Sharp and
Deeper.
Adam Humphries.
Oh, wow.
I would start. It's tough. I want to say I would start Corey Davis, but he's hoed everyone before who's ever owned him.
I'm definitely interested in scooping up Corey Davis, but I would only play him if my back were against the wall.
I agree.
DJ Chark.
All right. See, this is where I'm going to get a little controversial. I would 100% start DJ Chark.
I would too.
In a deep league, Laviska Chenault Jr. is looking like a really good pickup for the future. He's a rookie. He played on 62% of the snaps, and he ended up playing some running back. He got a couple of rushes, and he scored a touchdown on one drive. They look to have a good rapport, and he just looks like he's going to be a good player.
What about Keelan Cole Sr.? Do you like him more than Keelan Cole?
They're about even for me.
Okay.
I would start both of them in my flex.
Hopefully you don't have to.
Hopefully you don't.
Hopefully you don't have to do it. Moving on to the next matchup in the afternoon game, we have the Minnesota Vikings and the Indianapolis Colts. Your ESPN season leaders, Kirk Cousins, Phillip Rivers, Dalvin Cook, Nyheim Hines and Jonathan Taylor, Adam Thielen, Paris Campbell, T.Y. Hilton. Who's any tight end of importance here? Is Kyle Rudolph still on the Vikings?
That's a good question.
Yeah, he's balling out.
He played good?
Okay.
Yeah, he played
That-
pretty well.
That's
Nice.
exciting. Nice. Jack Doyle, is he on the Colts still?
Yeah, he's on the Colts.
Okay. I for some reason thought maybe he was on the Jags.
I'm starting both of these quarterbacks.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Both had great outings last week too.
The Vikings defense didn't look great, so Phillip Rivers will do all right.
How'd the Colts defense look?
It was average, but they were also playing the Chargers, so that was a slower game.
Okay. The Chargers also had some pretty hefty defensive players go down,
Yeah,
unfortunately. Derwin James went out for the season, I want to say.
and that was during Hard Knocks.
I didn't
Any-
watch Hard Knocks this season.
Pretty
Did
good.
you check out Hard Knocks, Logan?
I have not.
I love Hard Knocks, though. I can't believe I just completely fell off my radar this year. Anyways, we'll move on to the running backs, Dalvin Cook, Nyheim Hines, and Jonathan Taylor. I guess Alexander Madison had some carries as well.
I think you can hold on to him, but I wouldn't start him yet until he kind of carves out a role for himself.
Dalvin Cook obviously
Start.
got his 2 touchdowns, 12 carries though, which isn't as much as you want to see, but as long as you're getting touchdowns, that's all I care about.
Game script demanded it would be a more passing game.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers just slicing and dicing.
I think you can safely start Nyheim Hines and Jonathan Taylor this week. I would start both in the flex. I wouldn't start either as my running back 2s. Maybe Nyheim Hines because Phillip Rivers loves to dump off to the running back, but
I was gonna say, I feel like out of the 2, I would start Jonathan Taylor as competence as a running back too. I think he's just naturally gonna have to take on a heavier workload with Marlon Mack going down, and they did not really hesitate from feeding Marlon Mack last year, and I don't think they're going to with Jonathan Taylor. I think we will see a decent role for Nyheim Hines, but I definitely like Jonathan Taylor more. I would start Nyheim Hines in a flex spot without really blinking, though.
We're just going to have to agree to disagree. Nyheim Hines had more snaps. He played 53% of the snaps. He got a couple of goal line carries. I do trust Jonathan Taylor, but I think he'll be more of a – I think he was playing in the first and second downs a little more. But like I said, Phillip Rivers, Austin Eckler is all you need to see to show that he loves to throw to the running back.
True. We'll see if it happens. I'm slightly skeptical, but I wouldn't be surprised if it pans out. So, yeah, nothing, but I feel confident about any of the Indianapolis running backs. Wide receivers, we have Adam Thielen on the Vikings. I guess Kyle Rudolph. Do we have any other Vikings wide receivers that matter?
We have Jefferson.
Judge,
He's a rookie.
Justin Jefferson played.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
He did okay. I think he did average.
He did all right.
First game.
He had
Good prospect, though.
69% of the snaps. And then there's also BC Johnson and Tajay Sharp, which I was wrong about. He is on the Vikings.
What team did you say he was on?
The Titans. I have no idea who the other Titans receiver is.
Doesn't matter anyways. Adam
Doesn't.
Thielen absolutely went off.
Yeah.
Which was exciting after his injury to see him just back and tearing it up as the true wide receiver 1 for the Purple People Eaters.
You start him and you start Devontae Adams with confidence.
What about Paris Campbell and T.Y. Hilton?
I don't know.
Maybe T.Y. Hilton.
I don't know why I said Devontae Adams. Yeah, I meant T.Y. Hilton.
I mean, it was a true statement.
Yeah.
If you had Devontae Adams, fucking start him.
That game was so good, I just can't
Yeah.
get it out of my head.
I mean, yeah, they kind of were just trading blow for blow.
Yeah.
I had to go up against Adam Thielen, and it really kind of rained on my parade with Devontae Adams. But
you can start Kyle Rudolph and feel good about yourself. I'm not starting Jack Doyle, though. I'm going to sit him this week.
No, thank you. T.Y. Hilton, if I have T.Y. Hilton, I wouldn't mind flexing T.Y. Hilton.
I would agree. Wide receiver 2, maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
Should we move on?
Let's get it. The Bills and Dolphins. Your ESPN season leaders are Josh Allen, Ryan Fitzpatrick, the leading rusher for the Bills. Once again, Josh Allen. I don't even know this Miami Dolphins running back. Miles Gaskin. Yikes. Of course, the true running back in the Buffalo backfield is Devin Singletary. I guess / Zach Moss, because I believe they just straight up split carries.
59-45. So
you had 45, Zach Moss.
Yes. So not looking great for the outlook of the Devin Singletary owners, because eventually I see Zach Moss just overtaking that.
Wide receivers. Let's get the wide receivers out of the way.
Good call.
Stephon Diggs, Devontae Parker. You also have John Brown and
Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley. And what other Miami Dolphins wide receivers?
Preston Williams
Oh.
and Jakeem Grant.
Okay. I'm probably not interested in anyone. Devontae Parker had
Start
an
him if you
injury.
have him.
Didn't he have an injury, though?
Isaiah Ford as well. Yeah, he did have. He did go down with an injury.
So that's definitely something to keep your eye on, which is sad if you drafted Devontae.
So maybe if you really need a wide receiver, pick up one of the Dolphins.
Yeah, maybe Preston Williams.
Yeah, maybe Preston Williams.
I'm
my
trying.
Eyebrows are raised.
I'm trying to avoid this whole team. Maybe Mike Gesicki. It's tough though because Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to play well. Oh, let's.
Here we go. Live update. Parker avoided a major setback and could play in Sunday's game versus the Bills.
Okay.
If he's good to roll, it is a hamstring injury though.
He's good.
If they're saying he's good, you going to play him, or are you going to be a bit hesitant with a hamstring injury?
I'm going to be hesitant, but you kind of have to play him.
He's
probably one of your second best, third best wide receiver.
Hopefully you have someone else just in case. But if he's out there, he's going to make you the difference.
So we're obviously starting the running back known as Josh Allen that plays quarterback. But what about Ryan Fitzpatrick?
No, thank you.
You guys are out?
3 interceptions last week.
Bills defense is good too.
Well, he threw for 3 interceptions. Even though it's the Bills defense, sometimes that just doesn't matter. When Fitzmagic strikes, it strikes.
It's so fun to watch.
It is so fun to watch.
It's so good.
Do you think we have a Fitzmagic situation on our hand where he just throws like 5 touchdowns and like 450?
Just a good old blue-collar game where he sticks his face mask into some middle linebacker's chest.
He scrambles for a 5-yard touchdown.
Buffalo would be the team. Buffalo would be the team
to choke.
Because that Fitzmagic shows up.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of am into the idea of Fitzmagic.
You've just hyped yourself up enough.
It could. I mean, he just threw 3 interceptions. How many times has Fitzpatrick threw 3 interceptions, then the next game turns around and just like balls?
I have no confidence. Mike Gesicki is the only person I'm starting on the Dolphins because Matt Breida, Jordan Howard experiment looked terrible. Neither of them found the rhythm in the offense. And then Myles Gaskin, 63% of the snaps, decided he wanted to be the starter.
No running back has really ever been successful on the Dolphins, as far as my memory.
Ricky Williams, bro. Don't disrespect him like that.
Been a very long time.
Homie could not stay off the weed, though.
Hey, man. He just wanted to self-medicate. Maybe he knows something that you don't know.
Touche. What about Buffalo's running backs? Starting either of those?
Hopefully not.
Does that hurt to hear, Logan? Since
Logan,
Zach Moss is on your team?
At this point, I need Zach Moss. Okay, he's the least of my worries. He will be in my starting lineup.
Rough spot to be in.
Yeah, very rough, but
desperate times call for desperate measures. Are you going to start him over Mark Ingram? Are you starting Mark Ingram?
I'm not starting Mark Ingram.
Woo!
Rough take, but
yeah, no, I guess you can't
with Lamar and all their weapons. But anyway, that's another matchup soon to come.
Very true.
Stephon Diggs and John Brown, you're starting. Though.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
I think if you have a deep league and you need a flex spot, you can take Cole Beasley. He's just a PPR machine. He might get 5 catches for 22 yards, but if you're getting a point per reception and you're just scavenging the waivers.
He's pesky.
Yeah, he might do some damage.
I would consider it. I would consider him a stash. I mean, he's not going to do anything crazy, but like you're saying, he's got that base, that floor that you can rely on.
Yeah.
A little bit of a safety blanket.
A deep league start. 16 league plus.
Any more Bills and Dolphins players you guys want to mention?
Not a
before
chance.
We move on?
Moving on.
Moving right along. The next matchup, 49ers hosting the New York Jets. Your season leaders from ESPN are Jimmy Garoppolo, Sam Darnold, Raheem Mostert, Frank Gore. Receivers, we got Raheem Mostert is listed as the top receiver as well. Jamison Crowder. Who are some San Francisco wide receivers? Can anyone name one off the top of the dome?
Not off the top of the dome.
I mean, we got, of course, George Kittle and
Who potentially is not going to play this week.
Yeah.
The wide receivers are Kendrick Bourne, Dante Pettis, and Trent Taylor, who all underperformed. You got Debo Samuel on IR right now.
Yep. Sad.
I heard his injury is worse than they thought, so
Very disappointing to
wouldn't
hear.
count on him. I'm not starting a single one of these wide receivers.
I guess you hopefully have Raheem Mostert.
Yeah,
I feel good about starting him.
I really jumped the gun there. How about we talk about some quarterbacks first?
No, I think, that's where we were at. Quarterbacks, Jimmy G, Sam Darnold. I definitely like Jimmy, porn star, significantly more than Sam Darnold. I don't trust Sam Darnold one bit.
I like him more, but I'm just kind of trying to stay away from this game other than the San Francisco running backs.
I would agree. All around, I'm not excited about any of these players. Le'Veon Bell, of course.
He's actually questionable.
Questionable?
He is.
Nice.
Yes, he is. That's Frank Gore's the starter.
Wow.
Yep.
I guess if you have Le'Veon Bell, you hopefully you have someone else and you can start someone else. I would not want to start Le'Veon Bell this week if I have him on my team.
It hurts if you have Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, yeah.
It hurts.
I take that back. You can also start Jamison Crowder.
Yeah, for sure.
But other than
It's kind of a grimy pick, though.
Yeah.
But, if he performs like he did this week, he's very solid start.
You could take a flyer on Frank Gore, just hoping maybe he gets a touchdown or two, but you're not asking for much if you're just having to go out there with Frank Gore in the arsenal.
You're in rough shape if Frank Gore is in your lineup this upcoming week
Like
against the tough 49ers defense.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. And they got
Stay away, folks. Stay away
away.
from Frank Gore. He's going to be a fossil before the game is over. But then again, he's still here, so maybe not. Don't start him, though. Please. Please don't. Jamison Crowder, maybe start him.
Definitely start Jamison Crowder.
I don't want to talk about this game anymore. Do you have anything left?
Not a single thing left to say.
Disgusting. Next game, we got the Rams and the Eagles. Your ESPN season leaders are Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Malcolm Brown, Boston Scott, Robert Woods, Dallas Goedert. Of course, the Rams are just stacked, so you still have to mention Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee for their tight end spot. And on the Eagles, hopefully we see Miles Sanders play this week, so we don't have to even think about Boston Scott again. I would feel confident about starting Dallas Goedert or Zach Ertz as well.
I agree.
But where do you guys fall on quarterbacks here?
It's going to be a shootout, I think.
You think so?
I don't know. They both did well last week.
I would agree with that. I think you can start both confidently.
The Eagles secondary, notorious last year for just being a absolute feast time for wide receivers.
They lost to the Washington no-names. You can't get much worse than
Hey,
that.
say that name, bro. Say the name.
I did.
The Washington football team.
Sorry, dude.
Ride or die.
Ride or die.
I want to get Washington football team merch before it goes, before they change their name.
You should tattoo it on your forehead.
Maybe. There's no way I really hope they don't stay the Washington football team.
No, I don't think so.
I really hope they don't.
I heard something that there was a guy who was taking all the ideas that people were floating out and copywriting all the names just so he can get the royalties if they ever decide to use it.
Pro move. Malcolm Brown, Boston Scott. Hopefully Miles Sanders is back this week. Is he still questionable? Does anyone know off the top of the dome?
He's still questionable.
Still questionable.
Yep.
So there is a bit of hesitation there. If you have Boston Scott, I hope you find someone else. I'm not interested in playing Boston Scott. He did not get the carries that I thought he was going to get with Miles Sanders out. But then again, the Eagles just looked lost out there against the Washington football team, which was, it just hurts the soul.
If you have Boston Scott, maybe thinking about picking up Malcolm Brown off the waivers. He's on a lot of waivers.
Nice, yeah.
I think he's going to be a good 3 to 4 week play, unless he just keeps going off. But Cam Akers, they drafted him for a reason. They're looking to give him the reins. He got 33% of the running back snaps last game. Eventually, I do think he'll overtake him, but Malcolm Brown looked good. You can't complain.
Play him while you can.
Start him, yeah.
Wide receivers for the Philadelphia Eagles. Hello? Is there anyone? Is there anyone on the Eagles wide receiving core? Hello?
Just tight ends.
Just tight ends. And they got a couple of good ones. I would play both tight ends and no wide receivers from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. Jalen Reagor is a good prospect.
Oh, yeah,
You
definitely.
can sit there and think about him real hard,
He
but
had a huge play for them.
yeah, I think he almost had 2. And then Carson Wentz just
Couldn't get it done.
couldn't get it done. Heard that before.
I like Carson Wentz, though. When he's good, he's good. But sometimes he's kind of falls
Terrible.
to the mercy of the Philadelphia Eagles themselves. Wide receivers on the Rams, however, I would feel very happy to have Robert Woods or Cooper Kupp despite an underwhelming performance.
I agree. I think those are the only 2 I'm going to start, though.
I think both of them are equally going to be productive for fantasy this Sunday against this just sigh of a defense
If you're
on the Eagles.
if you're just having to look at Josh Reynolds or Van Jefferson, then you just pray they get a touchdown.
You never know, though. Without Brandon Cooks, Josh Reynolds might be that third guy for them. And they've proven that they can feed all 3. They didn't so much last season, but there were other seasons.
There were. I'm not confident in it, though.
Let's move on to the Broncos and Steelers.
Hometown kid right here.
We got a Steelers fan in the house.
You want to read off the names this time, my boy?
I'd love to.
Yeah, you want to take the lead on the
I'd love to. So for the season leaders at quarterback, we got Drew Lock and the Big Ben, the legend Roethlisberger. Big time right there. He's
Big
back.
time, baby. Welcome back,
back.
Big Ben.
He is back.
Big meat.
It was a good coming back party.
It was 3 touchdowns. Can't complain. But at the running back position, we got Melvin Gordon, Benny Snell Jr., and James Conner. It's not looking good for him.
No, it is
He'll
not.
be out a little bit. But Benny Snell's looking good. And then at wide receiver, we got Noah Fant. Or is it Nick Fant?
Noah
It's
Fant.
Noah Fant.
I was right. We'll edit that out.
Hey.
And for the Steelers, we got Juju Smith-Schuster and a few others. But what do y'all think about the quarterbacks here?
I like Big Ben, man. Big Ben looks like Big Ben. I was pretty happy to see Big Ben go out there despite him being a bit of a dirtbag. It's kind of nice. It just felt like home, just having Big Ben on the Steelers.
Just thanking God after he admitted some nasty deeds to God in this couple months span. I don't know how God feels about that one.
Yeah, I don't know. He apologized, so it'll be fine.
How about Locke here?
Drew Lock had a decent game.
I'm sitting Drew Lock this week strictly because the front of the defense.
He had cool football accessories. His visor was dope. I'm a big fan of the purple visor, like the purple tinted visor.
And that's the kind of insight you get on this show, this podcast.
Yeah, man. Juju rocks it too. How many other people you want to know with the purple tinted visor?
Looking cool is everything, quote Greg.
Facts, true.
Starting Big Ben, sitting Drew Lock.
Yeah, I would agree with that one.
I think you can start Benny Snell and Melvin Gordon. If Benny Snell gets all the carries because James Conner is out, he's going to have another monster week.
James Conner can beat cancer but can't beat the line.
To be fair, the first – I want to hear what your opinion was. The first 7 or 8 plays for the Steelers looked terrible.
Absolutely horrible.
They were running
like a JV team, in my opinion.
They were running this jet sweep shotgun formation where they would run out of it with one offside blocker. It was crazy.
It was for the whole first quarter.
It was disgusting.
But Big Ben's very first pass was a nasty screen pass off James Conner's helmet to the right side. Wow. And I was like, this can't be good. This can't be good.
You're buckling up for a long
We bounced back. So
turned into a pretty good week.
Juju did very well. I like to see Juju do well because he did decent last season, but with no quarterback, what did you expect?
Yeah.
So I had high hopes this season. I think it was a good start against the Giants.
Juju Smith-Schuster was a player who lost you your fantasy league last year. I think this year he is a player that can help you win your league.
Absolutely.
I know that all too well.
With Big Ben back
He's probably the only receiver worth starting on the Steelers right now. Maybe Ebron if you really need a tight end.
He said he would start himself.
He did.
I think you could maybe potentially play Deontay Johnson in the flex if you really had to.
He's
worth having on the squad.
He gets a lot of receptions.
Big Ben's back. Big Ben's going to throw.
How about Melvin Gordon? You starting him if Phillip Lindsay's out?
Yeah, hell yeah. Start Melvin Gordon.
100%.
The Steelers' defense is a tough matchup, but good football players are good football players. I think that Melvin Gordon will have a decent weekend. I think he gets in the end zone.
I hope so, for your sake.
Yeah.
And your squad.
Melvin Gordon's on the team, and I'm playing him with confidence.
I'm not feeling any of these Broncos receivers. Jerry Jeudy looked really good.
Cortland Sutton? You don't like Cortland?
If Cortland Sutton plays, start him.
Please.
Other than that, Tim Patrick, Deshaun Hamilton, Jerry Jeudy, it's tough.
Jerry Jeudy has potential.
Tim Patrick played on 85% of the snaps. So if you have to play one of them, I would say maybe throw Tim Patrick a bone just based off opportunity. But I'm trying to stay away from the rest of them.
Noah Fant looks great.
That's it. That's
He
a
was
start.
Dominating. He looked real good. Definitely start Noah Fant if you have him. If by some miracle he hasn't been drafted, you're in a league of scrubs, and you're probably going to win your league anyway. So congratulations. Anything left to say about any more Steelers or Broncos players? I have nothing.
Go Steelers.
Go Steelers, baby.
Hooty-hoo.
Next matchup, we have the Carolina Panthers, the Carolina We Miss You Cam Panthers, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The ESPN season leaders coming in are Teddy Bridgewater and Tom Perfect Hair Brady. We have Christian McCaffrey and Ronald Jones II. Lead receivers, we have Robbie Anderson and Chris Godwin. Also have to mention Mike Evans as well as DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel on the Panthers, who are all good-looking wide receivers, I would say.
I would agree.
Teddy Bridgewater versus Tom Brady.
I'm not starting Teddy, but you got to start Tom.
Yeah, I think we see Tom bounce back this game. Bruce Arians was talking a little shit about Tom, and nothing will get Tom more fired up than getting a little shit talked.
He completely backtracked it, though. It was.
What'd he say? I didn't hear
weak.
the backtrack.
He said, "Oh, maybe it was Mike Evans' fault. I don't know."
In one of my leagues, it is an 8-man league. Mike Evans was sitting on the waivers. Someone dropped Mike Evans.
Is rough.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, come to daddy.
Come to daddy.
Hopefully, we'll be able to get Mike Evans added. I can't imagine we will. But Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I like Chris Godwin a little more out of the two. I guess we can.
I agree. We're skipping over some running backs.
Yeah,
though.
we'll circle back. We'll just circle back.
All right. I think that you can play old Scotty Miller, PPR machine.
Scotty Miller.
Tom Brady loves himself a little white boy to throw to in the slot, and he will get it done. He made it a point. I think he got 10 or 11 fantasy points in PPR last week.
Say that name again one time for him.
Oh, good old Scotty Miller.
Scotty Miller. Pick him up. He's on the thumbnail. We believe in him. Scotty Miller, the dark horse that's going to make the top 10 wide receivers by the end of the season. Justin's pick, Scotty Miller.
Hey, man.
Receivers on the Carolina Panthers, Robbie Anderson looked good. He looked
really good.
He looked happy to be out of New York.
I don't know a single soul who wouldn't be.
So
Le'Veon Bell, actually. He signed a max there.
Yeah, Jamal Adams looked amazing and also very happy to be on Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
So we're 2 for 2 there.
Yeah.
Yup, very true. Curtis Samuel is an okay start. DJ Moore, I'd start DJ Moore with confidence. I feel good about DJ Moore.
I would probably put Robbie Anderson above DJ Moore now that I really think about it.
I think I would too. Look at those 6 receptions, 116 yards, and a touchdown.
I agree.
That's a good outing. Teddy Bridgewater couldn't get the job done against the Raiders, though.
Yeah.
But, that's no fault to Teddy Bridgewater. That's just a good organization.
Man, we got Raiders, Dick Riders everywhere.
Man, I'm not even a Raiders fan. I just call it like I see it.
Get out of here.
The running backs, we got some running backs to talk about. Christian McCaffrey, do we say more? 23 carries, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's just going to do it again.
He is the Thanos of this universe.
He's going to do it to anyone. So good.
Let's not even talk about it.
Yeah, Ronald Jones. You like Ronald Jones?
I am 100% starting Ronald Jones. You can probably drop LaShawn McCoy. He did play 25 snaps, so that's 36%. But Ronald Jones just looked more explosive, looked like a better pass catcher. And honestly, just looks like the running back you want to have.
Do you want to drop Fournette at this point?
We
The
have-
Pittsburgh Feelers would like to know,
Are you
Justin, would you
asking-
drop
We have-
Leonard Fournette?
I just don't think you can yet.
Yeah.
There's always a chance. How do you feel about it as a Leonard Fournette owner? Are you
I'm
just
extremely let down. But that's from the beginning.
Oh.
I spent my pick on him as a starting running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Where is he now?
He is getting 8 snaps per game with the
Oh.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I am not happy with it.
Do you remember how ecstatic people were when he was on the Bucks? They're just
Oh.
saying like, "Oh, the Buccaneers are the Golden State Warriors of football." Are they?
They have a lot of names, but they
Leonard Fournette.
At
Not
this
so
point,
great.
I don't know why Tampa got him, unless they're just going to use him more in the future. Maybe they were just testing the waters, but as a fantasy owner, not looking promising.
How were you feeling when you saw these 1 and 2 point outings from your boy?
It wasn't good. And it's not going to be looking good for Leonard Fournette. I'm not sure what to do with him, but if you see him on the waivers in the next few weeks, you may not even want to pick him up.
That's true.
But he might be there.
He'll probably just be
So-
taking up a waiver spot if you add him.
Jones for sure. Ronald Jones for sure.
I agree.
For that running back position.
I guess do you actually drop Leonard Fournette though? That is a decision
Yeah.
people are going to have.
I don't
to
think
come
you
to
do.
terms with.
I personally, it was too high of a pick for me to just drop Leonard Fournette.
I agree.
Even if he rides my bench the rest of the season, got to hold on to him.
He's one Ronald Jones injury away.
Can't
from
trade him. But
who wants him.
Nobody.
I
But he's
figured
too good. He's too good to
he
just
is.
like if he's on the waivers, you're scooping him up.
If anything, I feel like he's a goal line back, but they didn't even use him for that. So
Let's hope so.
It's wishful thinking.
We'll see.
I'm not starting Gronk or OJ Howard.
No.
It's too murky. Gronk is Gronk, but he's also Gronk
Yeah. Well said.
for whatever that means.
Gronk also didn't play a lot.
He played 54 snaps, which is 77%. He was
Wow,
blocking,
yeah, he did. He actually played most of the game. Then he just blocked.
a lot of
Just
blocking
blocked.
going on.
Hey man, you know who else loves to block? George Kittle. Maybe Gronk is the next George Kittle. What do you guys think about that?
I think you have those backwards.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm
Do
not,
we even know who the tight end is for
it's Ian Thomas.
Ian Thomas?
There's also Chris Manhertz.
Chris Manhertz?
That's-
Fake name.
It's definitely how you say his last name.
That's a fake name.
He played 54% of the snaps. I'm not touching either of them.
Yeah, stay away. Next matchup, we have the Washington football team, and you put some respect on that fucking name, and the Arizona Flying Birds. Your ESPN season leaders are Dwayne Haskins Jr., Kyler Murray, Antonio Gibson, Kenyon Drake, Terry McLaurin, DeAndre Hopkins. Some more wide receivers we got to mention are Christian Kirk, because I can't be the only one who has Christian Kirk on their team, and Larry Fitzgerald. Are there any more receivers for the Washington Reds? Ooh, Washington football
Ooh,
team.
you amateur.
Woo,
I think
almost caught me slipping, baby. Not today. Washington football team.
There's also Steve Sims Jr. You can definitely take a peek at him. And Logan Thomas, the tight end. He got a lot of targets.
You're pretty low on the Washington football team all around, though. Am I wrong about that?
I am definitely low on them, but just because I'm low on the offense doesn't mean that you can't get some PPR garbage time catches.
Very true.
It can happen.
Do you think they make the playoffs?
Is that a joke?
Of course. Lock them in. At the quarterback spot, we have Dwayne Haskins versus Kyler Murray. I think,
You start Kyler, you bench Dwayne.
yeah, don't have him
Easy.
on your team.
Easy.
The Washington football team's backfield's a little,
It's murky.
yeah, Antonio Gibson.
Let me read you off some snaps.
Yeah, let's hear him.
J.D. McKissick, 44% snap share. Peyton Barber, 41% snap share. Antonio Gibson, 26% snap share.
Not looking great for Antonio Gibson.
No, he maybe
Or J.D. McKissick.
J.D. McKissick had the most. I think he was utilized more as a passing role, maybe a third down back. Peyton Barber, he just took all the goal line touches.
He sucks.
He got 2 touchdowns.
I don't like Peyton Barber at all.
You can pick him up and safely hope for some touchdowns.
safely hope for some touchdowns. That is a
Sounds promising.
It's a
Yeah.
backhanded.
bleak, very bleak. I think Antonio Gibson has the most upside out of all of the players, so we will keep an eye out on him. Terry McLaurin,
Steven Sims Jr. I think you can start them both.
really?
Yeah, Steven Sims for flex and a deep league, no problem.
DeAndre Hopkins, absolutely play him. Christian Kirk, I don't know.
Nope.
What about Larry Fitz?
Nah, hopefully you don't have to, but maybe.
I think you can start him in the flex, but you're not feeling good
If
about
you
it.
have to.
Logan Thomas, though, the Washington tight end, if you are just hurting for some tight ends, I think you can play him and hope for 8 points and maybe another touchdown.
All right, let's move along. We got the Chiefs and the Chargers. I think there's going to be a lot of fantasy points to be had in this game. If you are a Chiefs owner, season leaders from ESPN, you have Patrick Mahomes, Tyrod Taylor, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Austin Eckler, Sammy Watkins, Hunter Henry, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. How many Chiefs players do we list off?
All of
A
them.
lot
Just
of
keep
starters.
going,
A
yeah.
lot of starters in fantasy world.
Everybody
Chiefs.
eats over there.
If
You
you
got-
have a Kansas City Chiefs, start them.
Play them. You also have to mention Keenan Allen and
Mike Williams,
Mike Williams. Thank you.
Hunter Henry, too.
Play him.
Starters.
Yeah, I think you can safely start pretty much all the Chiefs this week, minus Demarcus Robinson. And I think you can pretty much start all the big-name Chargers. You can start Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry. As far as Josh Kelly, I know a lot of people are probably going to be interested in that with Justin Jackson out. I am not going to start him yet. If he has another average week, then maybe he moves to a flex position. But as of now, I'm just not feeling it. I think Tyrod will bounce back, though.
Hopefully you don't have Tyrod Taylor. Do you have anything to say about any of these players? Chiefs, play him. Chargers have Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, play him. Hunter Henry, play him.
Sit Tyrod Taylor.
Please.
I think he bounces back, but we'll move on. What about Mecole Hardman?
Not interested.
Yeah, I think you start Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, those are the only two wide receivers. I mean, I guess Sammy Watkins and Mecole Hardman, you're playing the same game with them.
Yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire looked amazing.
Looked very good. Worth the pick.
Worth the
pick.
Never would have thought I said that.
Let's move along. We got the Ravens and the Houstons, your ESPN leaders this.
The Houstons?
Did I say the Houstons?
Yeah.
You know who it is. The Houston Texans, baby.
The boys.
Your ESPN season leaders, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson. I mean, running backs for the Ravens, Mark Ingram, J.K. Dobbins, David Johnson, Duke Johnson. I guess you got to list them out.
He got hurt.
Oh, never mind.
I don't know if he's going to play this week or not, though.
Your receivers to look out for are going to be Hollywood Brown and Will Fuller, the fifth.
Maybe Brandon Cooks if he's back.
If he's healthy.
Yeah, he came into last game with an injury, and they kind of managed his snaps. So
I think if
something to look forward to.
Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, you play them both. They're both going to ball out. I'd be very hesitant to play a Ravens running back. J.K. Dobbins, I would flex him.
23% of the – or 39%, 23 snaps. So 39% of the snaps. Mark Ingram had 36% of the snaps, and Gus Edwards had 25.
Wow.
So, yeah.
A true three-headed monster.
Very murky waters.
Lamar's doing most of the rushing here.
Yeah.
So the running backs you might get one touchdown from a running back a game, and it's going to be a coin toss on who it's going to be.
Yup. David Johnson. He looks good. He looks good against the Chiefs.
He looked very good.
He looked really good. I would start David Johnson with a lot of confidence.
Rejuvenated, for sure.
He was out there catching some passes, too.
Definitely was.
Hollywood Brown, I'm excited to start him. Will Fuller, I'm
He's
excited
good.
to start him.
He is good.
I'm starting Willie Snead in the flex.
Really?
I think it's going to be a shootout. I think you can safely start him.
All right. Nice. I love that
That's a
take.
good take.
Mark Andrews, too, obviously
Oh,
starting
yeah.
him.
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad I cannot believe we almost missed Mark Andrews.
I rode him the entire season last year.
Absolute
He's
And I tried to trade
monster.
him, and I just couldn't.
He's a monster. I think you can honestly If you're in a 14-man plus league and you're looking at Jordan Atkins, the Houston tight end, you can take a flyer on him and it might pay off. He got a touchdown last game. Deshaun likes to spread the ball. I don't know. Maybe Randall Cobb too. I wouldn't start him with confidence. Definitely sitting Kenny Stills.
All right, let's get into the primetime game. I'm excited about the primetime game. It is the New England Patriots at the Seattle Seahawks. I think we may have been reading these home teams wrong the whole time. New England at Seattle.
Maybe I think you've been reading them wrong.
Perhaps I didn't notice that. Yeah, it has been me. So it's just been me. But I wanted to share the blame. You know,
Not a chance. I explained to you that earlier.
it's a shared blame. We're all at fault for this one.
Not a chance I'm taking that
It's a
L.
team effort, man. It's a team effort, you know. So, team takes an L on that one. The New England Patriots are at the Seahawks. Your ESPN season leaders, Cam Newton, Russell Wilson. Running backs, Chris Carson, Sony Michel, I suppose. For wide receivers, Julian Edelman, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Will Dissly for your tight end spot, maybe.
I don't know.
For Seattle?
For Seattle?
Greg Olson.
Oh, wow. Forgot about Greg Olson. Did he look good?
Yeah, he looked pretty good.
All right, hell yeah.
He's back.
They fed him at the end, though, so you're praying.
Let's hit these quarterbacks. Cam Newton, what'd you guys think about his performance last week?
He's really good at running the ball.
He rushed well.
Yeah.
He rushed well.
I think he'll have a better throwing game this week.
15 for 19. 155 yards, not a lot of yardage, but he was doing what he needed to do. Russell Wilson, of course,
Start them both.
is the real deal. 31 for 35, 322, 4 touchdowns. I mean, he's legit. He's legit playing. Any running backs you're excited about for either of these teams?
Obviously, Chris Carson, he's a monster. I would start James White out of the New England backfield, strictly in PPR. Jacob Johnson actually had the most touches, or most snaps for the Patriots last week at 33%. Sony had 30. James White also had 30. Rex Burkhead also had 30.
Wow.
So you're looking at a big committee there. James White's the only guy that gives you consistent PPR points. So
And he's proven that.
he's proven
time and
it
time again.
every year.
If you're in a PPR league, feel good about having James White. Wide receivers, Julian Edelman. I think you can lock him in as a mid-tier wide receiver too, and a solid flex. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I'm playing both of them
I'm starting all three of those
Yeah.
people you just mentioned.
for sure.
Yeah.
Any extra wide receivers in New England to look out for? N'Keal Harry. You interested at all?
Demir Bird had the most snaps at 88% and N'Keal Harry at 80. Edelman only had 58, but I'm not worried.
You can trust him.
Yeah,
He's going to catch the ball if you throw it to him.
I'm not starting any of the other wide receivers or even the tight ends for that matter until I see some consistency.
Anything left?
Fun fact, did you guys see Duggar take the field
No,
for
we
the
missed
Patriots? He got a few snaps.
it. No way.
I saw him a few times.
Okay.
How do you
I
look
think he
out
got
there?
his first official tackle.
Nice.
Hometown.
Assisted tackle.
Whitewater.
He got in on some action. It was good to see him hop in there for
That's
sure.
some gang
I
shit
was
right
on the
there.
lookout for it.
Nice. All right, fellas, we only have the Monday night game left, and it's going to be a good one. The New Orleans Saints are going to Vegas and playing the Raiders. Your ESPN season leaders are Drew Brees, Derek Carr, Latavius Murray, Josh Jacobs. Of course, Alvin Kamara is the lead running back in that backfield. Wide receivers, we have Michael Thomas, who may not be playing, Henry Ruggs. Very notable tight ends, Jared Cook for the New Orleans Saints and Darren Waller for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Both looked good.
Both looked good. Quarterbacks, Drew Brees with a disappointing performance
I thought
fantasy-wise,
he
but
played all right.
I mean, Drew Brees is going to get the job done.
He played good football. Maybe not fantasy, but good football.
Yeah. Same as Derek Carr. He plays a mean game of football, but it's not always what you want for fantasy.
I think this will be a pretty high-scoring game for the Saints, and I think the Raiders will get some trash time. So I would probably feel safe starting both.
I'm not going to lie. The Raiders are going to make it competitive. Don't even have to think twice about that. Running backs, we got some juicy running backs in this matchup with Alvin Kamara, who is probably just going to torch the Raiders, and Josh Jacobs, who looked very strong against a pretty subpar Carolina Panthers defense, but I mean, he looked good. He looked really good out there.
Start them both. Hold on to Latavius Murray another couple of weeks. Maybe Alvin gets hurt and you get a chance to shine. Maybe he even becomes the Mark Ingram Kamara duo that we have seen in the past.
Kind of was riding a bit last year.
Yeah, Kamara Murray. You heard it here.
Receivers from either team, with Michael Thomas potentially not playing.
It hurts for sure.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Hurts your squad.
It hurts personally to my squad.
Man, you got a lot of hurting on your squad.
Yeah.
As far as pass catchers go, I think you can start Emmanuel Sanders and Jared Cook with confidence.
Of course, I agree.
If Michael Thomas doesn't play, look for Traquan Smith, maybe as a flex play. He might get a little bit more love than he's normally getting. But he's a good player. He could make some moves. How about you talk about your Raiders, dude?
Raiders wide receivers, I'm the only Raiders wide receivers that I want to play are Josh Jacobs and Darren Waller, because they're seeing the ball. The rest is going to be
no Henry Ruggs. Is he hurt?
No, he's not hurt. I mean,
55 yards last game. Nothing
three
crazy.
receptions for 55 yards. He's going to be the home run ball kind of player. And I mean, last year we just didn't see the Raiders do that a lot, mainly because they didn't have the talent to do it. And they had injuries as well. I think if Henry Ruggs is out there, he's definitely a player you want. But the Saints are a good defense. Henry Ruggs is a rookie. I wouldn't feel great about starting him. Of course, he's kind of the receiver to play on the Raiders, I would say. Anyone else, I'm probably not going to touch on.
I completely agree. I think that about wraps up all the week 2 game previews.
Yeah. So that was the week 2 preview. Before we go, we just want to jump into our leagues, how everyone did this past week, what we got coming up, just to give you guys some insight into our own personal fantasy teams. Maybe it'll help your fantasy team. I guess maybe should we just kind of each say how we felt we did this week? We'll do like a quick temperature check on our teams.
I guess we can do that.
I'll go first.
Yeah,
since I was the lowest scoring
this
at 89 points.
Biggest loser.
Not a lot of hope on my side of fantasy, but I just need just maybe some average production by my running backs at this point. Mark Ingram was my leading scorer with 2.9 points. Well, not leading scorer, but leading rusher, 29 yards.
He tied Leonard.
Yeah, I had Moss on the bench, which was a problem in itself. But
you definitely wouldn't know to you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
To start him
off
week
first
1.
week.
No.
I don't know.
Off rip, no.
Yeah, didn't know what to expect with Leonard Fournette either. So I started him just based on his name alone, I guess. Yeah, but we're looking forward to next week. Michael Thomas, we may have to move on without him, but we're scraping the waiver wires. I should get what I'm asking for.
That's all you can hope for.
We'll move on.
If you can manage a win this week, Logan, you may be the best general manager in the league.
It can happen.
Chris is looking like the best GM these days.
How you feeling, Justin?
Yeah, how you feel?
Man, I'm not feeling as bad as my boy Logan here. My team performed under their floor, which doesn't make sense because obviously I guess this is their floor. I just thought the Chargers really screwed me. No touchdowns this week from most of my players. DJ Chark got saved by a touchdown. I'm looking for bigger and better things. Catch me at a 10-game win streak. Then I'll be feeling a little bit better.
How about you, Greg?
Wait, hang on. Before we go, how do you feel about George Kittle? Do you think he's going to come back and play?
I think he's not going to play.
I don't think so either.
I don't even need him to smack you around this week.
Yeah, me and Justin got the matchup this week, and I'm feeling good that George Kittle is out, but it's kind of scared that Jonnu Smith is chilling on your bench.
I got 10 riding on this, so easy 10.
I'm the probably happiest of the 3 losers in the room. Living here in Allentown, put up a hefty 135.28 against the commissioner. He went in, edited some stats, and got himself a win, scoring 158.8. But, I mean, at the end of the day, my team scored big.
You can't complain.
I hate that I took a loss. Devontae Adams dropped 41.6 points. So it hurts that was wasted. Everyone kind of performed except for Christian Kirk, and it just – if he had showed up, it would have been a different ball game, hopefully. But all in all, team's looking good. I feel good. Moving into week 2, I'm sitting like a pretty little queen. I'm happy.
That 1.0 is a little rough
On
Christian Kirk.
Oh yeah, it is. It was sad, and DeAndre Hopkins was just absolutely feasting. But
hold on, before we move on, I got to give a shout out to Bergen for beating me. He told me
give him the shout out.
Don't
give him the shout
out. He needs
out.
one. He's got a terrible fantasy name, but his team performed. I take the L with grace. Catch me week 9 whenever we play again. I'm gonna wax that ass. But we move on.
Bergen's team looks good.
Let's get into matchups for this week.
Let's not skip over the highest scoring man of the league.
Okay, let's do that.
Oh wow. I don't even want to be the one to give him the credit. Someone else do it. I'm not.
You do it, Justin.
Me?
You do it, Justin.
Tucci, my dog, I'll give you this. The laughing stock of the league for many years. Trades his players away like they're candy. Probably won't even have this team. But my man dropped 180.36. The 0.36 is very important.
Big week there.
Jesus, how many 30-point players can you have?
He doubled my score. That's all I'm going to say.
Let me ask you guys, is this a case of, first off, this is one of the highest fantasy scores I've ever seen.
Yeah, for sure.
Is this a case of perfect storm, or is Katucci just that nice?
I'm going to give him a little bit of both.
I think it was in the draft, to be honest. I think the man draft a well-drafted team.
He dropped 180 and started Boston Scott.
That's unheard of.
I mean, his bench looks solid. Katucci, we didn't really disrespect you that much in the first podcast,
Well done, Katucci.
but we definitely take back anything negative we said. I loved the Juju Smith-Schuster pick this year, honestly. I was kind of jealous that he took it. I didn't want to have to be the one to do it, but I'm glad that it's working out for someone. I like Juju Smith as a player, and it looks like he may be returning to form, and that could be all the difference. Katucci's got some young guns with Josh Jacobs, Juju, Calvin Ridley, Travis Kelce in the tight end spot. It's a squad.
It's a squad for sure. He had a few players go under 10 points.
Yeah.
So you consider them double digits. I mean, he's breaking 200.
But did he peak too early? Find out next time.
Yeah, we'll see. Should we get a little week 2 preview?
I think we should. We're here.
Let's bust through these week 2 previews in our fantasy football league. This week, Boat Tours with Richard Parker is taking on the home team living here in Allentown, Pennsylvania. If you don't know, now you know. I feel pretty good about my matchup. Your team garbage.
Easy dub. Your team is so trash.
I'm out projected. That's got to count for something.
You're living on the biggest false high I've ever seen.
I'm really not. I feel good about my team.
Ooh, Logan, your projections are looking rough.
The lowest score takes on the highest score this week. The Pittsburgh Steelers take on Katucci and Juju on this league.
Wow.
That's a rough look. That's a rough take.
David versus Goliath story.
That's a rough take. But
We
we're
know what
here.
happened in the parable. David beat the Goliath. But I don't know about the Pittsburgh Feelers. I don't even think the Pittsburgh Feelers knows about the Pittsburgh Feelers.
Not looking good.
Moving on to the next matchup.
Chubb University is taking on OBJ in the steamy surprise. Who do you guys like in this matchup more? The Stinky Surprise or Chubb University?
I gave Shane's team a lot of credit, so I'm just going to have to keep riding with Shane.
Yeah.
Will's team underperformed this week, so he could have a bounce back.
He has some injuries to fight through. Hopefully Miles Sanders shows up for him.
That's going to be a good matchup.
Allen Robinson, though, question mark.
I like Shane's team too. I think we see a lot of players bounce back on Shane's team. Let's move along. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to Pimpin' Ain't Breezy. 2 teams who performed very well this past week. I would gladly.
Whoa! Fresh Prince of Bel-Air has the number 2 waiver spot. Let's not speak too highly.
Yeah, the team did good though. Or okay, did he? I guess he didn't
outscored
win,
him.
but
I got Pimpin' A Breezy on this one.
I'm gonna say the same.
you did not outscore him, bro.
Yes, I did. 97.28.
What you talking about? 105.92.
Oh, I was outscoring him. Oh, well, that's sick. I got the second waiver.
There you go, man.
Awesome.
Breaking news on the podcast.
It's a
Justin,
victory.
Waiver 2. Who you gonna scoop?
Not,
Justin's waiver pick of the week.
not Malcolm Brown.
Woo! You heard it here. Don't pick him. Don't pick him up.
I just can't get him.
He's just not good.
Logan.
Justin says.
Yeah, right. I love when you put words in my mouth.
You're welcome. I'm a lean Pimpin' Ain't Breezy. Saquon, Chris Carson, Chris Godwin, Tyler Lockett, just a monster.
I must have been looking at his score before his last player played.
I think you're just living in a fantasy world.
That too.
Next matchup, Biscuits and Brady and the commissioner, El Comisaro.
I got Chris. His team beat Josh's team last week, and he didn't have Mike Evans or Kenny Golladay.
Yeah, I mean, Chris's team is filthy.
I'm just gonna have to go with the commissioner on this one.
Nice. He paid you to say it.
What a kiss ass.
Last. Oh, you have anything else to say?
For no reason specifically, I'm going with the commissioner.
Riding hard or die. That's not saying. We got Julio's 50 Burger Shop going up against Dina Deep Throat My Penis. Don't feel proud to have said that team name. 50 Burger Shop showed up. So did Dina's. 50 Burger lost because of a James Conner injury.
I think Cliff's bouncing back for sure.
I agree. With all the respect I just gave Bergen, taking it all back. Josh, week 2, dub.
I'm also supposed to have had a trade done with Josh for Terry McLaurin. We'll see if it actually happens.
That was hours ago.
Never was accepted, though, in the app. So we'll see. Anything left for week 2's? Any more shit you want to talk?
I have no room. Logan, you don't either.
It's gonna be a good week. That's all we can hope for.
We're bouncing back.
We'll see.
Me and Logan on the come up.
I feel confident despite the loss. I guess we'll send it away. That's this week's episode. We are going to have some closing ceremonies from the commissioner himself. He took time out of his day to hop in a closet, and you know he came out a flamboyant queen. Nothing but love for the commissioner. Take us out, fella. You suck.
We start with the primetime matchup of two heavyweights and living in Allentown and El Comisario himself. After a neck-and-neck Sunday and Devontae Adams dragging his balls all over the Vikings defense, Zeke pulled out his spoon and ate up the Rams to the tune of 27.7 points to put El Comisario in a good spot on Sunday night, with Noah Fant bringing it home with a touchdown. El Comisario notches his first W while Greg is sent on a search party for the missing Christian Kirk. El Comisario, 158. Living in Allentown, 135. Next we have Dina Deep Throat My Penis versus Boat Tours with Richard Parker. The battle of the longest fantasy names we could think of. These guys were fighting for every character in their name. DeAndre Hopkins wasted no time, showing Bill O'Brien that his brain is incompetent with 14 catches for 151 yards in a win against San Francisco. Justin, while slow out of the gate, is tanking for that all-important Week 1 waiver. David Johnson led the pack for Justin, as we all expected him to do. Dina Deep Throat, 123. Boat Tours, 97. In the matchup between Julio's 50 Burger Shop and Biscuits and Brady, we had a nail-biter. Biscuits and Brady was down Mike Evans and Kenny Golladay, but squeeze out enough of Cooper Kupp and somebody for the football team. A solid week nonetheless for the Burger Shop, although an injury to James Conner cost him the game. Burger Shop fans are calling for James Conner's head, and head coach Clifton Lewis is on the bandwagon ready to ship him off for scraps. Biscuits and Brady, 121. Burger Shop, 119. Pippin, A. Breezy, and Chubb University took the field against one another this weekend in an intriguing matchup. Breezy with very solid production across the line with no real breakout players. However, concern for Saquon Barkley? 15 rushes for 6 yards, but he had a hurdle, so ESPN will still bust a nut of the New York football giant star. Chubb University couldn't even get their own Chubb going, watching their namesake and teammate OBJ put together a combined 10.8 this weekend. Not a single boner in sight for this team, especially with Dallas Goedert with 24 on the bench, while Ingram had 2.1. Pimpin' Ain't Breezy, 121. Chubb University, 111. In the We Think They're Ass Bowl, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air lined up against the Pittsburgh Feelers. In an underwhelming week for both, the Feelers are looking like a botched boob job after injuries to Michael Thomas, and Fournette, Ingram, Gronk, and Gallup look to be sliding down depth charts. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air cruised to a victory with Mostert being the Kyle Shanahan back of the week. Fresh Prince, 105, Pittsburgh, 89. Last but not least, we have the newcomer OBJ in the steamy surprise versus Juju on this league. Mark Andrews may look like one of the best pickups in the draft. However, Juju on this league, Juju'd on the haters with an explosion of points from the whole squad. Some are calling this team a one-week wonder, but if they are saying that, one thing is for certain. Katucci didn't hear that, or anything else for that matter. Will Juju and co. be able to keep up this production? Tune in next week to find out. Juju, 180, steamy surprise, 116.